Hey everybody, it's Laura with Jot and Tittle Vintage Typewriters. Got my coffee here and we're going to take a look at this Olympia SM9, and I've got several instructional videos of these out there. This one though, it has an extended carriage, and then also it just typed so well. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and show it off, just to be honest. So yes, this will probably be another long instructional video. I think it's good to keep them updated. I learn more things. I don't know, just keep it fresh. My number one video is an SM9 from when I very first started these tutorial videos. And it's so old, and it was one of my very first ones, and I don't know why everybody keeps watching it. And I keep putting tags in there. There's more recent, videos, but it's still my number one video. So go figure. I don't even think it's a good one, but it is what it is. Okay, so Olympia SM9. Look at this guy. Looks really good. Extended carriage on this one, which is great because, you can use it landscape or portrait mode. 11 by 17 paper would fit in here. I always recommend, and I don't know what the initial reason was for extended carriages. I do the typewriter business very, very part-time. This is not my primary thing. So I don't spend a lot of time researching, but for crafters, as someone who is a crafter, I know there's times where I have odd size paper that I want to type on, and that is why I recommend them for those who potentially could be doing some crafting, because it just gives you some options. So my personal opinion on that. That's why I like the extended carriages. But you'll see back here, if you push the button on the right side, there's your paper holder. And again, I'm doing instructional video on this as well, just for those of you who are new to typewriters and those of you who are, who are much more familiar with it. Thanks for hanging out and just chatting with me today. I like talking about typewriters. So, and also I am hoping to have an insanely exciting announcement for you guys next week. I want to tell you, but I'm going to wait. Let's just say I've been waiting for a few days to tell you guys something. So I have to wait till it's confirmed. So anyway, okay. Hopefully it'll be by next week. Margins. Press these little beautiful silver tabs together and then move back and forth. And then over here on the right side, you have your paper release. You have your carriage release. And this has the sweetest bell. I love it. Over here, we have our line selector. So this is off. Your carriage is not going to advance. Then you have single line, double, triple. And some of you may think, well, why would I want that? For someone who's a writer, I like to use that in the cases of when I want to, sometimes I sit down to write and what comes out is what comes out. I'm not going to do any editing. But if I want to do editing, I'll do the double or triple spacing so I can take notes in between lines and make marks and stuff like that. Okay, also the SM8 and 9 have the turquoise accents, so they're on the edge of the handles here and down here. That's how you know. Also, the difference between an SM8 and an SM9 is the tab settings and also the touch selectors. So SM9 has a touch selector and the tab settings are here, down here. The SM8 is not. There's no touch selector, and you will not see these here. Okay, I'm going to move the carriage over to the left, and to open this top, I just grab right down here and I pull up. All right, and that's going to be right in the camera, so I'll just hold it like this. And inside is your type bar basket here. You've got your universal ribbon. These are on metal spools here. You have these little metal arms. There we go. They slip under here to kind of hold them in. So when you want to take out your spool to wrap fresh ribbon on it or to install a new spool, you just pull the arm out and then lift the spool up. Oops. And when you're reinstalling, so like I got to get it back on there, you kind of have to jiggle it around a little bit to get it to pop back down. There's little pins that stick up here. I'll just show you. All right, we're going to make a mess here today. So I don't know if you can see this because there's little holes here. And then down here, you've got your main. I know it's hard for you to use. Sorry, I don't have another hand. I'm out of hands. There's the main metal piece that comes up through the big hole. And then there's a little pin next to it, tiny little one, and it has to go in one of these. So when you pop it down, you may have to jiggle it around for a few minutes until it pops down. Now, when you install it, the ribbon, the black is on the top, the red is on the bottom, and you need to make sure that ribbon comes around the top part and then around the bottom. And then you're just going to come here and you're going to pop it down. And I will probably have to edit this because for some reason, there we go. There it went down. So then it finally popped down in there. Now, I don't know if you can see or not, my ribbon has missed. I call it the double barrel, and it's also your ribbon reversal. Okay, so it's not inside it. So I gotta, and by the way, changing ribbon is messy. And you're just gonna see my hand, but don't know any other way to do this. Okay, so I've put it in there. I'm gonna straighten that out. Same thing for this side. The ribbon comes along the top, goes around and underneath the bottom. Make sure it's threaded through this little double barrel piece. And that is your ribbon reversal. You just go back and forth because when you use it and you get to the end of the ribbon and it's all on this spool, then you need to reverse it and you'll go all the way over till this spool's empty and it's all on this one. And you just go back and forth until the ink is all used up. Some of you may have a ribbon that has a tiny grommet on the very, very, very end of it. It's a little metal grommet and that'll auto trigger a reverse, but you have to have a ribbon with a grommet on it for it to auto reverse. Otherwise, you manually do it right here. And you don't have to have this open to reverse. So let me put this down and I'll show you. Let's close that. Make sure you snap it all the way. And if you just tap with your fingers, you can feel that little double barrel on each side and you just tap back and forth. So you don't need to open this every time you need to move the ribbon. Okie dokie. So before I type, because I always forget to show you guys after I type, but here is an up-close image of the font and the type on this from this particular typewriter. Each one is a little bit different. You can see some overspray here. That's probably just because it's a new ribbon. It has lots of ink in it. So I am going to load this. And the way you load it is you just set your paper there. You don't have to shove it down and then just turn it, and that should catch it and bring it around. It loaded nice and even. If it wasn't even, you could pull this forward, adjust your paper, you know, and just make sure you re-engage it. What else I was going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, this one loads really well. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about the carriage lock. So when you're not using it or you're transporting it, we do recommend you lock the carriage and you just pop that up. And I just like to, you center the carriage, pop that up, and then you'll have to hit the release lever and just kind of tap it into place. But now it's not going to move. So if you have one that's been gifted or you bought it and you got it home and the carriage is not moving, it is because it's locked. And so you just, if you watch when I unlock it, it should pop. You'll see the carriage kind of pop. There you go. And now it's unlocked and you can move it. Isn't that bell? Sounds so nice. Oh my goodness. So this touch selector here, I don't really use them. I find them useless. It just changes how hard the type bars strike the paper. You can adjust that just with your own fingers and learning how to type either with a heavier hand or a lighter hand. When you are typing, remember that for those of you who are brand new to it, so it'll type in lowercase and in numbers, But when you hit the shift, it'll do uppercase and symbols. And then there's a shift lock right here. And that's, you know, if you want to type in all caps, if you're screaming at somebody or making an emphatic point. And then to release it, you just tap either one of the green turquoise shifts. Then it'll release it. Tab. So right now I have a tab set right there. If I want to clear it, I just hit clear. And it cleared my tab. And so to set a new tab, let's go right here in the middle. And I'll hit set. Tab. And it's easy as that. Now, sometimes I'll get a typewriter and there are a gazillion tabs set. It's like people just went through and like set a tab every point M. And if you want to clear all your tabs, what you do is you just hold down clear while releasing your carriage. I just go back a couple times. You probably only need to do it once. Clear it. And all of your tabs are clear. So that is that. Here's your color selector. So you've got, even though the little piece here is blue, that's your black. The white is a stencil setting. The red is for red color. Make sure it's not on white. It's not going to type. If it's on the white, you can type, but it's not going to imprint anything. And so you're going to think your typewriter's broken. It's not. It's just not on black or red. So 2 things to look for if you're having trouble typing. If it gets faint, if it feels differently, or if it stops all of a sudden, check 2 things. 1, reverse the direction of your ribbon, like I showed you here. 2, make sure your color selector is firmly on the black or the red setting. Also, so we did the tab. Here's your backspace. Oops, I'm already at the end. Let me move it over. Backspace does not erase. There's no delete button on typewriters. So if you make a mistake, you just X through it, dash through it, or rip out it and get a new piece of paper. But if you rip out the paper every time you do a mistake, you're going to run out of paper. That's just part of typewriting. And so embrace your mistakes. But the backspace is not the delete key, just the backspace. Margin release. So when you are typing and you get to the right, oh my goodness, my margin isn't set right. Let's do this again. Look, my margin is set outside of my paper. I should have checked that. Let's try that again. See, you make mistakes. So when you are typing and there's my bell saying, hey, margin, hit the return handle, but sometimes oh, see, now it ended and I didn't get to finish my word. So margin release, MR, boom. Now I happen to notice it jumped forward 1 space, so I'm going to go back 1 space. There you go, there's your margin release. But when you're in a flow and it stops and you hit margins, sometimes it doesn't jump forward. In this case, I hit a couple extra keys, and so when I hit margin release, it jumped forward. So each typewriter has a little bit of their own idiosyncrasies with that, and so you just learn what your typewriter will do. All right, so that is the basics of the Olympia SM9. I know this is a really long video, but I just love talking about typewriters. I hope you enjoy talking about them and listening about them as well. Give me a thumbs up, a like, tell your friends about our channel. We sure appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed day.